So, new age testing, is it too loud? Yeah, my voice is quite loud. So, new age testing, disruptive possibilities, are you game? And you can see on the screen here, a fish is trying to jump from one dish to another, trying to disrupt itself. Some ripples, causing some ripples on the other side, right? So the next 20 minutes or so, I'll take you through some of the possibilities in testing. We've heard a lot about testing in the last 2 years or 3 years. Testing is dead, DevOps has come, Agile is there, and then developers doing all the testing, and then all kinds of rewording of testing. Testing to quality engineering. Testing to quality assurance has always been there, business assurance. So we will not talk a lot about will testing name change. That I would leave that with you at the end of the presentation. What do you want to call yourself? I'll give a lot of hints throughout the way. A lot of work a lot of things that is put up in today's presentation is a result of some research done on certain areas. And as usual, I also want to say that many of the opinions I hold and I profess here and I'm going to express here is personal and not reflective of the organization I belong. Okay? So let's see. I'll let you read through it a few seconds. Some classical definition of testing. Investigation, gathering information, experimentation, and questioning. And reflect on what we've been teaching our people, our team, and what we have learned. What is testing? Test strategy, test design, test planning, test execution, defect reporting, and then, after all this, automation. Let's go on to the end. So let's recap the last decade. What has testing community done for itself and its customers? We've done a lot. If you Google testing tools, you'll get probably around 100 tools. Many of them you already know, many of them you may not know. We have automated testing phases left to right. We have automated UI testing, we have automated API testing, we have automated database testing, performance testing, security testing, all kinds of testing. We have model-driven test automation, model-driven testing, keyword-driven. We have shifted left so far. There is nothing left on the left. We have done factory models. We have done unit-based pricing, whatever that may mean, outcome-based pricing, output-based pricing. And for any technology trend that comes by, we append testing to it. Don't we? Cloud, testing. Social media, testing. Big data, testing. The latest is? IoT testing, and that is innovation for us. You agree, you don't agree, whether it is innovation, we'll see. We've done a lot. Right? Shift right is also come now, because there is nothing left on the left. Right? So now what is left? Up, shifting down, shift everywhere. Right? If you recap, again, testing has what of testing and how of testing. You can test for business transformation assurance, typically digital transformation assurance. We can test for technology assurance, social media, big data, cloud, mobility. You can test for industry, banking, retail, utilities, smart metering, now analytics, right? Then on the how do we do it? New capabilities. Any example of new capabilities in testing that testers are asked to develop? One example? Artificial intelligence. Now, of course, SDET, testers have to become programmers. New capabilities. New tools and technology and platforms. Yes, this is the age of platforms. New tools. New methods, agile, DevOps. Right? Let's now move on slowly to the future. And how do we define the future of testing? And what do you want to call that future? You can decide later. Before that, all that should lead to three value themes: speed of change, cost of change, and risk of change. I'll just leave that thought with you. What should testing stand for in the present and the future? Now this you would have seen everywhere. Testing was scripted, independent, and rule-based, and slowly evolved to collaborative and integrated, no longer independent, because TCOE. How many of you think TCOE is dead? No one thinks? TCOE is dead. How many of you think so? TCOE is alive. How many of you think so? The rest are neutral. Okay. And then, of course, we have to talk about analytics, cognitive testing, and AI in testing, machine learning in testing. The fact of the matter is that machine learning, AI, analytics, we talk a lot about machine learning testing, forgetting that machine learning is hard work. Through the data at the computer, through the data at the machine learning algorithm, it learns and tells you what to do tomorrow. That is the current trend. It's hard, sweaty work. Unless you define a problem in a certain way, you cannot use all this machine learning. Let's see how that applies. If you want to shape, define the future of anything, you have to do three things: redesign, redefine, restate. Redesign the solution that you've always thought was the best. Redefine the problem. Restate the purpose why you exist. Redesign is simple, easy to understand. Redefine, example we can think of is an example of redefining the problem. What comes across nowadays as great example? Nowadays, any company which has done that very well now. Any quick? Uber. Uber has redefined taxi booking into somebody is going somewhere, ready to go somewhere, you want to go that same place, so the driver and the traveler gets together, redefining the problem from booking a taxi using a phone to online. Restate the purpose is very simple for all of us to understand and relate to. Ticketing portals becoming, end-to-end, holiday portals. Banks have turned into, from being a place where you park money to being a wealth management, wealth creation facility for you. So how do we do this in testing? Let's develop the future of testing. Again, as I said, you call it what you want, using these three principles. Let's start with, for anything, we start with customer. So what are our stakeholders saying today? Can you relate to this? Are we testing too much? And then what do we reply? No, we have risk-based testing. Right? Risk-based testing. Risk-based testing is a great technique, but cannot scale in complexity and size simply because it is very heuristic-based. It's dependent on someone deciding certain test cases have to be run based on certain heuristics criteria. Of course, you can put some data around it. Still, it is not adequate to answer the question, are we right engineering testing? Second is automation has become an end in itself. Sir, I'm 100% automated, I'm 90% automated. It's come to such a point today that testing, because of factory model concept, testing is seen to be dumb. Anyone can do it. Often I hear, of course you can take some high school dropouts, put them into testing, automate everything, and all they have to do is run the tests. So automation becoming an end in itself is a big concern for our stakeholders. What is automation leading us to? How is it helping the IT delivery capability? Advisory role. Can you help me navigate the path to go live rather than throw a bunch of defect reports at me every time? So, the imperative one is efficiency and effectiveness. We focus a lot on efficiency, which is running fast, but running the right direction is important. We'll see what does it mean, what does running the right direction mean when it comes to effectiveness. Right? Second, what should testing stand for? Testing should stand for two values. Today, if you look at all the analyst reports or customers, quality and agility is the key. You agree? Cost is a consequence. Second thing that you can take away from this is, it's not about I'm a great tester. It's not about I can do great automation. That's given. It's about how am I enabling quality and agility, quality at speed, as some analysts call it. How can testing enable quality at speed? Rather than continue to be inward looking and saying, I'm a great tester, I have automated everything, I got TDM, I'm doing great performance engineering, I'm doing security testing. Testing is not about testing as much as how am I enabling quality and speed. That's the second imperative. Testing to enable quality and agility of IT delivery. Testing deserves to be the centerpiece of IT delivery transformation. Let's look at the third. If you go back to the basics of how systems fail, there are three stages. The fault, wherever it appears, code or whatever, the fault is activated under certain conditions, propagates to an internal error, and then manifests as failure. Right? Testing's job is to provoke these failures. Very important. Remember this word, provocation. Provocation. It's not about testing. You have to provoke, activate the fault, ensure they are propagated properly, and they are seen at the response as failures. Now, there are certain patterns of failure, like diseases. Can we look at them? Or are we so much engrossed in improving on productivity that I don't look at what am I trying to search? Certain patterns appear every time. What about those patterns? Do we know how the system that you are responsible for, the Spider-Man, in what ways the system tends to fail? Right? So testing it's not about testing anymore. Signs of failure. The art of engineering, it's provocation. Remember this, provocation. It's not about testing. It's about provocation. So which also means your currency is not testing productivity. It's about defect yield per unit cost and unit time. Test coverage is not as much important as uncoverage of defects, which you already knew all along. But what are we measuring ourselves on? Every day, every week, reporting to our customers, coverage, productivity improvements, right? So remember this, provoke. You're not testing, you're provoking. You're not test engineers, you're provocation engineers. You're not test automation, provocation automation. Right? It's not test environment. It is, what is it? Provocation environment. Your job is to provoke. Just like, a beast of prey provokes its prey into coming out and catching it. Just like the army people would provoke the hooligans, or who they are, I don't want to say who they are, right, nowadays. Provoke them into coming out of their hiding and then do a surgical strike on them. Surgical strike. Provocation. Okay? Now, the technology of provocation is what is more important than testing technology. Right? This is revealing. We capture a lot of metrics, but what about the dissipation metrics? 80% of the risk contained in 30% functionality, 40% test cases never yielded defects. Right? Very few defects originate from the UI, even API. A single fault can spawn 20 symptom reports. What do we capture? Defect reports. They're actually symptom reports. What does it mean? You're actually asking developers to go after 20 symptom reports rather than one fault report, right? 20% of defects related to environment and test data, right? Minimum 15% defects are duplicates. Around 20% of the defects are reassigned wrongly. So the idea here is, what I'm trying to get at is, there is so much opportunity for optimizing the quality cycle because there is so much dissipation of effort and time. Remember dissipation, second word. Optimize. Optimization. There is so much data, so are we looking at those dissipation in the quality cycle and addressing those dissipation through optimization? Testing is no longer a factory problem nor an automation problem, it's an optimization problem, which also means optimization lends itself to machine learning. It's not about machine learning in testing, it's about the problem that you want to solve in testing that lend themselves to easy application of AI and machine learning. Define the problem, define the dissipation issues, define how you want to provoke, everything follows, right? Non-functional testing, I have no idea who coined the term. Non-functional testing. How can you define something in its negative? I'm a non-human being, I mean a dog. Right? Non-functional testing is not the right word. It's called attributes, quality attributes. And then the reason why I'm bringing it up is because majority of the problems in field is because of these attributes. And what have we done? We have functional testers, non-functional testers. They don't talk to each other. Performance testers come at the end, grandly. And functional testers will keep automating and running test cases. The issue is, if you go back to doing a research of all the failures in the system you're testing, you will be amazed to see how many issues are originating as quality attributes. When I say quality attributes, it's not limited to performance, availability, upgradability, changeability, usability, They are actually architectural attributes of the system. Architectural attributes. So you know where I'm getting at? Architectural quality attribute driven testing. Now we're getting at the technology and the skills required to shape the future of testing, right? There is no point in, focusing on UI or API beyond a point. Beyond a point, you can write all the business process test cases in the world, banking, utilities, securities, trading, then what? Point of sale. It will not yield you any provocation. You will not be able to find critical defects if we continue to write test cases around business. Someone said domain orientation and testing is very important. Of course it is important, not beyond a point, because the failures these days, because business process, today implementation is done through standard packages. Unless the implementer is completely dumb, incompetent, and wantonly wants to spoil the system, you will not find too many business process implementation issues. They originate from deep within. Deep within. Not even APIs. They are attribute issues. So, beyond a point, don't build reusable test cases for any of the domains that you're doing. Architecture-driven testing. Fifth imperative. And then, of course, the last one is, as a community, we've been guilty of separating out functional and non-functional testing. Architects, of course, don't have knowledge beyond, certain, they don't have a knowledge of how systems tend to fail and tend to work in field. Analysts are very business process oriented, right? Developers look at their own modules. Functional testers look at their own functionality. Performance testers look at performance. And then we have SOAR testers, database testers. We have created silos. Failures don't look at themselves as, oh, I'm going to fail from a functional perspective today. Failure is a failure. Right? So the sixth imperative obviously is to fill the cracks between the roles by use of technology. 6 imperatives. Some of them are redesign. Some of them are redefine the problem. While some of them are restate your purpose. For example, testing to enable quality and agility is restating your purpose. It's not about testing. Right? How do we realize this? Optimization problem, analytics, machine learning, architecture-driven testing, purposeful automation, not just automation. Make automation work for you. Please do not report to your boss, I'm 100% automated. Does mean nothing. Right? What are the challenges? What are the challenges in implementing the platform that your company is trying to build? What are the challenges in using a tool? Heard this? A fool with a tool is still a fool. Have you heard this? Right? A fool with a tool is still very cool. You can believe in one of them, it doesn't matter, right? So, it's not about tooling, it's about using the tool in the right way. So there are 4 or 5 challenges in testing today, which we have never even identified, and we have given up. We have been allowing people to tell, oh, testing, it's low end, it can be automated. Navigating the dark path to go live. There are so many decisions that you take as a tester every day, every minute, every second. You don't even know you're taking those decisions. They're very important decisions, like Spider-Man. Taking the right decision to stop the train, right? Uncovering critical hidden issues. Characterizing usage and failure patterns. Decisions under uncertainty, minimality, optimality, dynamic and adaptive, all sorts of things. You don't know we don't know we do all this, but we have reduced a problem to a factory problem and an automation problem. If the problem is defined that way, there is no future. Because we have automated ourselves out of jobs. The problem is redefined and restated, we have a future. If this person has to go into a cave and trying to find the enemy, what are the challenges? First of all, he has to know or she has to know where are those enemies likely to be in the cave. Second is, even if I know where they are in this dark cave, how do I find? Let's assume the enemy is a snake, a lot of snakes, and the snakes keep changing colors. What kind of torch you have to use to find the snake? And is it the enemy or the enemy's snake mark? Third problem. Fourth problem is it enemy or the reflection in water? How is testing any different? What is failure prone? What tends to fail the most? Right? How do I provoke those failures? How do I know whether it's a symptom or a defect? Am I raising 100 symptom reports or am I raising one root defect report? What do I recommend as fix? Redefining the problem, restating the purpose. Right? So I will not go into a lot of details because this could be very technical, and I leave that with you because the objective of today's presentation is to do this, to redefine, redesign, and restate, allow you to think about what you do, how you do, more expansively, and then look for tools that will address those renewed thinking to help our customer to go live at high speed. That's the ultimate goal. Going live at high speed, fast and flawless. Right? So machine learning, again, there are quite a few issues today. Problems have to be stated properly to be able to use machine learning, and the solutions have to be properly fine-tuned. It's not easy, it's hard work. Someone tells you, I have used machine learning in testing. If it's a nice party, be polite, smile, and then appreciate and have your food and leave. If the person is interested in debating, debate. What have you used? It's not easy, right? So architectural approaches is anomaly patterns, look for anomalies, quality attribute testing, and then very important is prognosis and diagnosis of failures. Right? Purposeful automation is all about ensuring the automation is purposeful. Visualization. It's not about dashboards anymore. It's not about rear view mirror metrics saying I have done this. It's about a typical, look at the cockpit. It's all about front. What's going to happen? What is likely to fail? What do I have to do to uncover those failures? Right? So using heat maps, dendrograms and cluster diagrams, the result of all the analytics you do to be able for you to take a decision. You have to be able to take a decision and not just limit yourself to giving a record of what you have done and giving it to a customer. Right? All this is possible. Technology hasn't changed. The science of machine learning, analytics, and visualization hasn't changed the last 25 years. But we are able to use it because of two reasons. Memory, unlimited computing power. Right? So the new age testing deliverables, patterns, usage and failure patterns, prognostics, diagnosis reports, fault chain reports, quality reports, anomaly reports, fixed recommendation, heat maps, right? The new age testing will be the centerpiece of. Now tell me, if we change the language, no longer, there'll be discussions in conference as to how do we get a seat at the table. If you and I, if we're able to talk this language, develop these skills, then all you have to do in a meeting is to give an overview of what we are capable of, leave your visiting card, leave the room, and they'll call you. Believe me, they'll call you. There is no need to talk about, are we relevant in this new age of DevOps and Agile? Is testing going to die? Wrong debate. Completely wrong debate. Tear it apart. Okay? How will this look like? You decide. Go back to your companies, design your own platform. It's not for me to tell you how to design your platform. All are having platforms nowadays, right? Platforms, AI platforms. Testing platform is not going to be far behind, right? So, the new age tester, technology tester, the programmer tester, the BA tester, data scientist tester, automation tester, the problem solver tester, visualization tester, the optimizer tester, the simulation tester. It's not easy. It's not difficult, really. I'm not telling ourselves to learn multiple things. It's all integrated one if you relook at the problem in a different way. Why is this happening? See, I just want change the conversations. Why is this happening? Did I press something? So, since we don't have time, when a question or a statement is made in a certain way, do not respond in the classical way. Respond in a new way. Change the conversations. Testing will change. Future will change. Here, so I really don't have much time or space here to tell you, what I wanted to convey to you. So let's move on. So what do you want to call the new age tester? What do you want to call the new age testing? You decide. Huge opportunities. The future is that of the tester. Okay, done. Questions?
Thank you. I'm Prashant from Excelocom Technologies. So I have two questions. One thing is, are you against risk-based testing?
Are you?
Are you against risk-based testing?
Can we have a coffee discussion? You know what? Rather than answer that question, I would say none of the techniques we've been using all along, I'm recommending we throw it out. All I'm saying is, let's grow beyond it. Build on it. Risk-based testing in the new world of Dockers, microservices, flexible applications, getting together, adaptive application, then will not cut it. You got to go beyond it. If you don't like what I'm saying,
no, not like that. My question was, since you told risk-based testing nowadays is one of the new term that's been used, but risk-based testing, it's there since very long. And moreover, in the new age of testing, you have to deliver the product immediately and you don't have time. So at that point of time, you identify the risk in the beginning itself and start testing, and you don't need to test all 100%.
Got it. All I'm recommending is risk. In order to build the test priority heat maps, go beyond the conventional techniques you've been always using. Use machine learning, use analytics. That's all. Risk-based testing will stay if you want to call it that way. All I'm saying is make it really data rigor driven. Data rigor. Data rigor implies data science. There is huge amount of data in a typical project. Right from the time requirements are developed all the way up to the time you are getting the build for testing. During testing, you have so much of data. You can get data from production. Use that. Use all the data. Apply data science. Apply machine learning. Apply AI if you like, to take the decisions you want to take and what you've been taking through conventional risk-based testing. Clear?
We'll discuss.
Correct? Huh? I'm not able to hear for some reason.
No, we will discuss.
We'll discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll discuss.
Thank you.
Mahesh is always, he always welcomes a sparring session. So anytime during tea break, it's just that I have to arrange some boxing, ring outside
Yes.
of the hall. So please, keep it outside of the pre-conference area. But Mahesh is always eager to pick up a debate and a fight. Trust me on that.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you all.
Mahesh.
Thank you for listening.
Big round of applause. Crazy kind of session, but wonderful, very energetic, Mahesh. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.